We are live. It's the Byte Extra Crunchy podcast with your host, Mr. Brian Tong.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's the big show. It's the Byte Extra Crunchy, all that munchy episode 70. We're killing it.
70, man.
7-0. When we hit 100, we're going to have to do something crazy.
We've done this 70 times. It's crazy.
We've been doing this for a long time,
yeah,
bro.
I can't. It seems like it hasn't been
It's
that
a long time. So, again, we had some issues with our voicemail system. So if you did call, we apologize. It kind of got messed up. We will continue to take your calls. We loved all the calls that we got last week when we kind of set the theme of the future of Apple. This is kind of what I want to set you guys up for next week. We've heard a lot about Apple talking about augmented reality. I want you all to chime in with these rumored Apple glasses that we've talked about the past few shows.
Yeah.
What do you think about it, and what do you want to see in them, or what do you think will make them great? I'll give you 45 seconds to a minute, but really the shorter it is, the better, because then we can talk about it and use in the show. 1-800-616-2638 is the phone line to call. Leave your name, where you're from. Just get into it. But we want to talk about Apple's rumored augmented reality glasses. What do you think about that prospect? Will it help them? Will it not? We want to hear it all. We'll talk about it all next week, but that's kind of just to set you up. But let's get in the show this week. Apple just honestly kind of blew my mind this week. They reported their earnings. This is for Q1 of 2017 financial quarter. Fiscally, that would be equivalent to the last quarter of 2016 on the calendar. So that would be October, November, and December. Apple had their best quarter ever in revenue.
That's crazy.
Best quarter ever in the history of the company, posting revenue of $78.4 billion.
Oh my God.
Compared to revenue last year of $75.9 billion. Now, on pure quarterly profit, they were a little down, but again, they had the highest revenue quarter of all time of the history of the company. They were at $17.9 billion in revenue versus $18.4 billion last year. Now, here's another thing. There was an actual extra calendar week during this quarter compared to last year's that it fell on. So
is that because of a leap year? Was that a leap year thing?
I'm not exactly sure. I just read it. Okay. I don't ask me everything.
I think there was a leap year last year.
You're all Brian, why is that? I'm like, I have no damn idea.
So weird.
So here's the thing. Apple last year in the first quarter of 2016 had their best sales quarter ever. Then it dipped down the past 3 quarters, and now kind of in a resurgence during the holiday season, it flipped the script and did it one more time. Who were the culprits? What do you think was the product, Beecham, that got them to this point?
Well, last week we talked about the iPhone 7, so that's what it was, right?
You are correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Wow.
I have to say, you can never underestimate the power of the iPhone.
I know.
And the Apple brand. It's insane. So here's the numbers. Apple sold a record 78.3 million iPhones during the quarter.
Wow.
That's up from 74.8 million a year earlier. If you want to talk about Mac sales rose slightly from 5.4 million this year compared to 5.3 million last year. Just basically 100,000 units. I think that's an actually surprising number in a bad way. Apple released their new Touch Bar Max, right?
Yes.
In the Q4, and a brand new product. There's a lot of pent-up demand for that. And you're telling me that they just eked out last year, which didn't have any significant new models. That's actually, to me, a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah, big time.
That it didn't have, I'm not saying give me millions and millions more, but I would have expected the Max to have a higher tick than just 0.1 million units from a year ago. My best friend, the iPad, oh my gosh, continued to decline, falling to 13.1 million units compared to 16.1 a year ago. And even at that,
they still sold 13 million of them? I mean, that's a lot. That's
3 million less than last year.
Wow.
Still a continuous, I believe it's arguably declined for the past 8 quarters in a year. 8 quarters over the past 2 years is the iPad category. Just to bounce back, a quick thing about how impressive the iPhone success is. During the course of the year, they track, phones, who sold what company was doing the best. So during the course of the year, Samsung was the leader in shipments of phones. Again, that's not necessarily sales, but from purely shipment volume, Samsung each quarter was the leader until Q4. Apple finally surpassed Samsung. Now, I do want to make it clear that if you total all 4 quarters and you make it a final total of all 4 quarters, Samsung still did outship Apple for the year. But for Apple to even surpass Samsung in 1 quarter is pretty impressive. And really what it came down to is Apple said not only was it the iPhone 7, but during the earnings call, Tim Cook said that this year, for the first time, the sales mix, when we talk about iPhones versus iPhone Plus, the iPhone 7 Plus had the largest share of that mix that it has ever seen compared to past iPhone Pluses.
Oh, wow.
So something's got to tell me.
The Plus is definitely a popular model for them.
That portrait bokeh effect.
They're going to keep doing that.
was, I'm frustrated because as someone who loves the phone, I don't like the fact that they're fragmenting the models. Like, oh, the high end gets this feature and the regular model doesn't. I hate that, actually. But
yeah, it is a pain.
But, from a business standpoint, and again, this is not what Apple used to do. This is why I continue to say this is a different Apple. From a business standpoint, they make more money per unit when you're selling them an iPhone 7 Plus instead of someone like me who's like, I'm just going to get an iPhone 7 because it fits better in my skinny jeans.
Yeah, true. Yeah, aesthetics.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. But the most shocking thing to me is last year, Apple just had like this crazy negative year, like people were just upset with them and like, what are they doing? Why are they making all these changes? And they still overcame and sold so many iPhones.
Remember one of our callers last week when we talked about the future of the iPhone said, oh, when is Apple going to be the market leader again? And what we said is, look, in Q1 of last year, they had their best quarter ever in the history of the company. He said, oh, when are they going to get back to the glory days of Steve Jobs? Yeah. Financially, they are in the glory years.
Yes.
Like these,
they like surpassed the glory years, right?
This is the holy glory, like OMG, WTF, cha-ching, cha-ching, mo money, mo money, mo money. This is it. This is it right now. So from a financial success standpoint, they're doing just fine. But again, we've got to reiterate, they may not necessarily be the most innovative company right now, but they're doing just fine. And I think that you've seen Apple kind of now knowing that they still continue to hold this dominant spot. They don't mind waiting a year. They don't mind waiting even 2 years. They don't even mind waiting 3 years before they put certain features in their products, like wireless charging.
Yeah.
Like, bruh.
Yeah, I mean,
3 years later.
They're going to wait and they're going to try to do it as best they can and maybe even try to like reinvent it,
Yeah. It's unfortunately, people are still see, everyone wants them to be more innovative. You know how you get a company to be more innovative? You stop buying their products. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's not going to happen. So, are these the glory
years? I
years?
have a theme song for Apple.
Beautiful. That is what it's all about. So there you go, a recap of Apple's earnings, really significant. One note, Apple continues to refuse to tell us how many actual Apple Watch units they sold, but according to Strategy Analytics, these are rough estimates based on units shipped, not sold. They believe that Apple shipped a record-breaking 5.2 million Apple Watch units this last quarter, making it the most popular smartwatch of the holiday season. That's according to their latest research. Apple captured an estimated 63.4% of the worldwide smartwatch market. Apple's closest competitor, Samsung, only 800,000 smartwatches in the quarter.
Wow. And the Samsung one is a lot cheaper.
The Samsung one has this dope dial.
It has a lot of cool stuff too.
Dude, the Samsung one has this dope dial, like basically think of the iPod scroll wheel around the face of the watch. It's a circular watch. It is sick.
Yep.
Apple, just steal it. Just steal it already. I mean,
I have the digital crown though. The digital crown.
Worst.
No, I mean,
worst
I see
feature
people...
ever. It's completely unusable.
It doesn't work very good? I've never tried it.
For the record, they changed their entire operating system to pretty much make the digital crown almost useless with the new OS because they tried to they kind of forced you in the OS to use it so much and people aren't using it. Yeah. It's like an extra button that has a windy dial that really is just used to zoom in and out of your apps, and people don't really look at the entire apps on their watch. They just go to now that watchOS 3 has a tray of basically your 10 most used apps. You just hit one button, you go there. You're not going to be juggling 20 apps on your Apple Watch. You're just not.
Yeah, no way.
So to me, the digital crown is almost, and some people, you know what, y'all can call me, 1-800, what's our number, 616-2638. The digital crown is almost useless to me. quite honestly.
Yeah.
It's almost useless. Yeah, I know you can do this time jump where you look at your watch face and you can scroll it up and down and see what's coming up next. How many of you really do that? You don't. Let's be real. You don't. You do that. My nieces and nephews do that because they think it's fun to look at.
Oh, really?
I'm like, oh, you're the only one.
It's pretty. Look.
You're the one that's using my digital crown. Thanks. I appreciate that. So 5.2, roughly estimated, 5.2 million Apple Watches shipped. Now, Tim Cook did say in his earnings report that it was the best Apple Watch quarter ever, but they do bundle it in their other products that also include the Apple TV. What else does it include? I believe it includes like their Beats headphones as well. That other products category that they don't list specific unit sales dropped 8% to $4.2 billion in the quarter compared to 4.35 a year ago. So we'll see what happens with that. I did think also you always get some kind of cool, fun little notes from this earnings report. Tim Cook did say when he was asked about, what are you guys doing? You're sitting on $200 billion in cash. What's coming up in the television space? What about original content? Tim Cook did say that we're, based on his words, we're dipping our toe in the water. We're going to try a few things.
Come on, Tim. Loosen the purse strings. Just start throwing out some cash.
Open up the damn floodgates.
Seriously.
It's like...
hire some real producers.
Hey, Carpool Karaoke ripoff, probably not going to do too well. The Dr. Dre biopic with the sex scenes in it.
What was the app show? The
Planet of the
Planet of the Apps.
I'm okay. I'm not gonna. There's no way in hell that I'm going to subscribe to Apple Music just to watch these shows.
Hell no.
For people that are listening that haven't been following the track, Apple's planning to put their exclusive content that they produce only on the Apple Music service, because clearly that makes sense to put it on a music service.
So backwards.
Change the name of it, do something different, put it on your Apple TV, but they're gonna hopefully think that it'll drive subscriptions. I'm not one of those people, but I would say that if Planet of the Apps was put on a different platform and the characters that they choose that are developing the apps are compelling, I might at least watch a few episodes.
Yeah,
I'm just going to throw it out there.
We'll have to give ourselves homework.
I got to give everyone, like every product, I give it a chance before I talk smack about it. We're lucky we get to critique these things. But Tim Cook, here's what Tim Cook said at the earnings about this whole getting into TV. In terms of original content, we have put our toe in the water doing some original content for Apple Music, and that will be rolling out throughout the year. We are learning from that, and we'll go from there. The way that we participate in the changes that are going on in the media industry that I fully expect to accelerate from the cable bundling beginning to break down. Okay, cable bundling beginning to break down. Dude, Apple, you could have had a subscription service a long-ass time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't. Like, you already failed. This whole dip your toe in the water, there's a company, I talked about it on our show, that's kind of put their whole foot, like they've jumped like head to toe in. It's called Netflix. Have you heard of them? They're a good model to follow.
They have like 80 million subscribers.
Yeah, they need 80 million and one because my bro over here still has yet to jump on.
I'm slow.
Oh, wait, didn't you say you were borrowing a friend's account?
I am borrowing a friend's account.
Okay, never mind.
Thanks, Patrick.
80 million.
80 million. Times that by how many?
Actually, divide that by 5 because you can allow 5 accounts to be shared.
Still, that's huge.
It is massive. So, we'll see what Apple does in 2017. One other side note about the iPad. Tim Cook did say that there are exciting things in store for the iPad Pro. I really hope so. It's my favorite Apple product. And I know I'm in the minority and I don't care. Because people that say I'm a hater on Apple should just listen to me gush about the iPad Pro or just the iPad in general. It's like, dude, okay, can I tell you this quick story?
Yeah, I was gonna.
What are you gonna
Let
say?
me tell my story after you because
No.
I had a funny one too.
Okay. Over the break, because I was feeling nostalgic about that 7-year iPad anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
I went online and I got an original iPad, 16 gigs. It's literally in pristine condition.
That's awesome.
The person who sold it might have only touched it once. I bought it for $100.
Whoa!
And this is just for me as a keeps, and it works. It's fully functional.
Yeah, and that thing's gonna work for another 10 years.
There's not a single dent on it. There's nothing. It is pristine. And I was just like, I have the original iPhone That is actually mine. I kind of regretted selling the original iPad. And I'm like, you know what? If I can find it, I don't want to spend $200. I don't want it someone who's like, oh, sealed in the box. This thing is spanking. It's gorgeous. I should bring it in even.
That's awesome.
And I was so happy. I'm like, that's what's up. That's how much I like the iPad. Okay, people that think I hate Apple. Okay, continue. Your
Yeah,
turn.
I was just gonna say, like yesterday I got home and my wife had just taken the iPad from my son, who's 4 years old, and I could have made the best iPhone or an iPad commercial with just my son just screaming, just going, "I want the iPad!" for like half an hour, just screaming, "I want the iPad." That would be a marketing campaign that Apple should get behind.
That's actually,
like,
you know
seriously.
what? We should maybe this is something to do on the Apple Byte video show. We should ask people to submit videos, like, you know how Jimmy Kimmel does, like when they tell the kids that they ate all the Halloween candy?
Oh yeah.
Take an iPad away from your kid and just record the reaction.
That's a good one.
That's actually, there's be some funny stuff in there.
Dude, my son was insane. He
I'm gonna-
was insane mentally.
I'm gonna do a contest about that. Okay, let's we've been going in all these different directions, but let's take a break. Talk about our sponsor. Yes, our sponsor.
Yeah.
Mara in the house. Technology has changed the way we run. Have you guys and gals heard about this? Thanks to smartphones, now even casual runners can map their routes, create pump-up playlists, and track their progress. But, you know, taking advantage of all these technologies is meant to take out your phone. You got to look at it. It's kind of annoying, and you lose that motion, that motivation. So now there's Mara. It's a hands-free running assistant that uses voice recognition and the microphone in your earbuds to help you optimize your runs. Now, check this out. You can tell her what kind of run you'd like to do, ask questions about your speed, your pace, or your location. It's Mara AI, and you have to have her. You can have her play your albums and music, but it's also really cool. It tells you comparisons to your past runs to warn you about changes in weather. She'll track your progress by noting your hot spots, and this is cool. You can also connect Mara to Amazon's Echo and ask her about your lifetime statistics and records you set while you're getting ready for your next run. Check it out. Visit Mara.ai, correction.
That's an easy URL to remember.
Mara.ai to download your free virtual running assistant today. That's it, Mara.ai. Pretty cool. I kind of want to try it out.
That's cool. I've been seeing a lot of these companies doing that, where they have a virtual assistant, like, you know, coaching you and pushing you, like, you better run fast, and then you start getting pissed off at the app. You're like, oh, I'm gonna run.
I like it. So
That's pretty cool.
Mara.ai. Back to the show, back to the stories. We told you Apple is working on their own Mac chip. This story coming out this week from Bloomberg, which is a really awesome. Mark Gurman, formerly of 9 to 5 Mac, he's really the man. I'm going to keep on calling him the man because he gets every damn scoop. Good on you, Mark Gurman, because you keep me in business too. Real talk.
Keep us informed. Thank you.
Apple is designing a new chip for future Mac laptops that would take on more of the functionality handled by Intel processors, according to people familiar with the matter. In the report, they says the chip went into development last year. It's similar to one that's actually already been being used in the Touch Bar MacBook Pro. We know that Touch Bar feature. There's a chip that manages that, you know, that shows off the emojis, the shortcut apps, all of those things. Internally, this new chip that they're working on is called the T310. It would handle some of the computer's low power mode functionality. And also it's based on the ARM Holdings technology, right? ARM chips, huge in Apple technology. We have the A10s in the phones, A9s currently in the Apple iPads, and also down along the line, it's the A line of processors have been ubiquitous with Apple for at least, I feel like 5-6 years, at least, even more than that, maybe even from really early on. Apple, although Apple's only accounted for 75% of the worldwide computer shipments, they've really kind of set the standard for design and improvements. They're trying to really be less dependent on Intel. This is not them completely ditching Intel, but this new ARM-based Mac chip known as the T1, the T1, that was the one that powered the Touch Bar, but this new T310 chip is what they're working on to work on some of those low power in the background things. Again, this is not a hardcore processor that will run your machine, but I always remember the rumors of when is Apple going to release an ARM-based processor MacBook, standalone, no Intel chip whatsoever. They're kind of working towards those baby steps, but right now it's a complementary chip. They do expect that this new chip, the T310, could make it to MacBooks in the new model that is releasing this year. That's really around September or so.
So are everyone who bought their new MacBooks right now just slapping their head and being like, damn, Why did I wait?
I told you all.
Seriously.
I told you all.
This year, I was like thinking you're about to say like 2018, 2019, but you just said this year. So wow.
Not only are you going to get the KB Lake processor family, right?
Kaby Lake, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to get the new update. You're going to get this new T310 chip that's going to help along with the machine. Your machine's going to be significantly better. By that time, let's be honest, the touch bar will be more mature.
Yes,
So,
yes.
People are asking, like, so I've been corrected multiple times. I've been calling it Kaby Lake forever. People are like, dude, it's KB Lake. It's KB Lake.
That sounds lame, though.
I know. So will this KB Lake processor help? Performance-wise, it's supposed to be a 20% increase in performance as well as battery life. So I'm going to guess, quite honestly, although it's not a world-changing thing, look, the MacBook Pro line currently actually has battery issues, even though Apple released that beta update to solve some of those and just really to get Consumer Reports to be like, yeah, we do recommend that. I have plenty of friends who are using the Touch Bar MacBook Pros that say they still don't get the best battery life.
Yeah.
So to me, a 20% increase, let's say it's supposed to get 10 hours. Let's even say you're really getting more like 6. You're getting basically another hour or 2. So that alone and better performance is more than enough reason to be like, yeah, because the processor family they put in the current Touch Bar MacBook Pros are really from like a year and a half ago.
Totally.
So let's make the jump. It also is going to support 32 gigs of RAM for all you powerhouse users.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty.
So those 3 things, better processor, 32 gig RAMs, Touch Bar will be much better, much more support will be out by then, and the 310 chip.
310.
Yeah, come on. Don't tell me it's not worth waiting.
Yeah, that'll be an exciting keynote this year when we see that.
You'll still have to use dongles though.
Oh, you can count on dongles.
Get ready to dongle.
They're here to stay.
So that's just kind of a wrap up on what's going on with Apple working on building their own ARM chips. Again, complimentary. The report did make it clear that there is no intention for them to drop Intel anytime soon.
Cool.
So just sit on that. I do think what I actually want to see, and this is still coming, really it's coming like in 2 or 3 years, but whatever, we're talking about the future. AT&T is going to roll out initially 5G networks in 2 cities. Yeah. Now, the 5G standard has been established, but quite honestly, by the time the chipsets roll out, get into people's machines and phones and blah, 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 it's really, and by the time the standard's all figured out, it's going to really be about 2 more years or so.
Yeah.
So everyone's saying, I want 5G. You're not going to really have products right now that are going to even take advantage of it, but maybe we'll finally see a laptop that connects purely on cellular connection.
That would
by
be the
then.
day.
Because I think 5G is at 500 megabits per second top speed.
Wow.
That's more than what our internet through a cord delivers to us.
That would be amazing.
So that'll be interesting to see how that's a game changer to me of how we use our devices, and it'll probably most likely help slim down the machine a little bit.
There are already a few laptops that do that, right? There's I don't want to say a Chromebook, but there's a couple laptops
that have cellular connectivity.
3G, yeah.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, they're not Macs, that's for sure.
Well, maybe in 2 or 3 years they will be.
Oh yeah, let's hope.
All right, just some other quick updates. The Apple AirPods silently, kind of behind the scenes, received a bug fix firmware update. If you have your AirPods connected to your phone and you look into your general and your settings, there's a slot in there that says AirPods. The previous number was 3.3.1. It's been updated to 3.5.1. There have been no explicit kind of improvements. I will say, though, that my AirPods, they're supposed to update when you plug them in when they're in the case, but my AirPods still have breakups once in a while.
Really?
Yeah. I was driving one time, and I don't know if it was competing with a Bluetooth signal in a car or whatnot, but there were times where I'd basically lose about 3 seconds of connectivity to my friend, and it kept on happening over and over and over. And it wasn't because the batteries were low, but it happened, and I'm like, okay, something's up with these AirPods, because I'm using them a lot just to try them out, and
that can drive you crazy too.
Yeah.
So do you drive with them on? Is that a new behavior?
I'm not going to admit that.
I mean, I don't think it's a dangerous thing.
No, I just don't want to admit that I wear AirPods, basically.
But I mean, that seems like a behavior change,
Yeah.
If you're just kind of wearing them all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are wearing them all the time, come on, just stop that. Like, seriously, bro, stop. Like, it's stupid. If you're a lady, you could cover up with your hair. I think that's pretty awesome, actually.
There's a dude, Dominic, though, who's an IT guy here, and he wears them and he has like cool earrings and stuff, and it looks cool. You know, I'm like, I kind of dig it.
Dominic, you cool, man. I ain't never
Dominic Adams.
I got nothing but love for Dominic, man.
Yeah,
so this bug fix firmware update is out, but they have not. Apple never specified exactly what it does. In a quick one, we're gonna skip over just a quick headline. Facebook reportedly working on an app for the Apple TV to bring long form video content. Yeah. Guess what? People do listen and watch things that are longer than a minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, Facebook's going for it. They're gonna
who I'm
start
talking
long form content.
You know who I'm talking. I'm not. Well, let's we like to keep our jobs here, but Beecham's laughing. He knows.
I know
who
who
I'm
you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna 90-second videos, and you have to have a 90-second video on Facebook in order for it to serve an ad. So that's a new rule. And then they're gonna start like getting on set-top boxes, Roku, all that stuff. So
they want to make more money.
Yeah.
They also said that, I believe that Facebook also said that they would only have 15-second ads in there.
Yes.
If I'm correct.
You're correct. And actually, YouTube just made that announcement this morning too. 2018, only 15-second ads, no 30-second ads ever again.
Look, when you get millions of views, you better you better freaking switch. Wow. You better switch down to 15 seconds. You guys are making money no matter what. Let's just be honest.
And everyone hates a 30-second. Everybody hates a 30-second ad.
I hate us a 30-second ad.
And, we get a lot of good feedback from viewers who watch CNET about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So thanks.
Nerd alert. LG's ultrafine 5K display, right? This is the only display that Apple is promoting for you to get as a secondary screen for your MacBook. You can even plug 2 of these LG 5K ultrafine displays to your computer. It's just been revealed and found out and confirmed by LG themselves that if you have one of their displays near a router, so let's say you have a wireless router within 2 meters, that's basically like 6 feet, the screen will either flicker out, can also, more likely than not, cause your MacBook Pro connected to it to also freeze, causing you to restart because it has issues dealing with being near a router. Like, LG has confirmed this. This is, again, the only... It doesn't affect other external monitors, but the hardware can become pretty much unusable. Like, the monitor that Apple recommends, the only monitor that Apple recommends, because remember, Apple got out of the business.
Yeah.
Has these issues. Again, people that don't have it near their router, fine, you won't have these issues. But I would say a lot of people in apartments, typically most of their computer stuff is all near the router.
I know mine is.
Most people's things, right? Because you want to hardline it in. You have it right next to it.
I mean, my router's sitting on my TV stand, right next to my television. And sometimes I put a computer right there, or that's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been inconsistent, but yes, it glitches out. It can cause you to you might have to reboot your computer to get it back in sync. You might have to be going through this back and forth, but it is a known issue by LG. LG has admitted it. There is no word on really what you can do other than not use your screen near your router.
That's funny.
So good luck to y'all. This one kind of put a smile on my face. It was kind of more of a sad trombone smile, though. Justin Long, you remember the guy from the Get a Mac ads, the Mac versus PC ads?
Very effective.
He's. I guess they're trying to catch that magic in a bottle again. Huawei has now hired him in a TV commercial.
It's kind of like a bad Hollywood remake, actually, if you think about it.
So he's like interviewing. I don't know if you can. We don't want to play the audio because it's kind of distracting. But for people that can see it, I think if you scroll down on that article, Beach, the link is there. He basically is sitting down and he's like interviewing a Huawei Mate phone, and it's here.
A ton of experience in tech. Have I ever directed anything before? No. Do I have a director outfit, a scarf, a hat, and a vest? Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's boring.
This is the worst ad ever. This arguably, that might have ended Justin Long's illustrious career.
Yeah.
By the way, I can't remember which one it was. I feel like he was in a Lethal Weapon movie.
I think he was in the...
Die Hard. It was the Die Hard.
The last Die Hard one.
The last Die Hard. That was actually cool.
Yeah. Die with a Vengeance or something?
Yeah,
Die Hard with a Vengeance?
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a fun one. I was like... Anyways, Justin Long, nothing but love for you because long rhymes with Tong. And some people have called me Long Tong. Hey!
Hey!
Don't listen, kids. Cover your ears. All right, a couple good apples following Mario's mobile success. Nintendo plans now to release 2 to 3 new iPhone games each year.
Sweet.
Remember how many years I've been telling you this? Like, Nintendo freaking release games for like $5 on the iPhone. I've been saying this for 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Easy. Might even be longer than that. They have lost so much money for not listening to me. Super Mario Run was a success. I believe the number was somewhere around like only 7 or 8% of people who download the app actually ended up paying for it. But then it had something like 74 million downloads.
Yeah.
It was something ridiculous along those lines. It was 70 plus million. The stat was like 7 or 8% of people bought the version. That's $10 per. So they still did just fine. They still made around like $60 million.
$53 million they made so far. And when did it release?
Dear Lord, I don't know.
Just like a couple months ago.
Might have been a month.
$3 million.
Was it
That's
right
insane.
before CES or something like that?
It's like right before
we took a
Christmas,
break.
I think, yeah.
So other games that are coming out for at least Nintendo this year, they just made an announcement about Fire Emblem Heroes for iOS. It's coming, and Android. It's due to release actually on Thursday, which is today at the time of this recording. And then the final game that is expected to be coming this year will be Animal Crossing, which will just, if you get into that game, it's going to just suck your life away. I've played it. I'm going to stay away. I played a long time ago. You stay away from it. You get these critters. You like meet other people and like collect these things. No, don't do
I
that.
weaned myself off Words with Friends, and that was
Woo!
difficult.
Woo!
That was very difficult.
That's hard. I'm just going to drop a note here for my homies. Injustice 2, they have this beta out. It's insane.
Injustice.
It's the DC Comics game.
Okay, cool.
I'm playing that so much. I'm not going to get into it, but just look it up or just sign up for the beta. Your mind's going to be blown.
Nice. What platform is that on?
Xbox and PS4.
Xbox. Got it.
Injustice, baby.
Quattro.
Okay, and then the final story that brings a smile to my face if it does actually happen. According to the New York Post, which can sometimes kind of put out some sketchy stuff, let's be real, and very sensational headlines, which we all love. According to a report from the New York Post, Prince, the man, the myth, the legend, oh my gosh, I'm one of the biggest Prince fans, reports that Prince's Warner Music Group albums will come to Apple Music on February the 12th. Now, right now, Prince's music is only available on Tidal, but is expected to get a broader rollout in 2 weeks. His music will come to Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Google Play, Deezer, and others. Honestly, I sound really stupid right now. I have not heard of Deezer. Do you know what Deezer is?
That's the first time I've ever heard of Deezer right
I know
now.
what Deez is. Deezed is. But yeah, so Prince's music was available on streaming services up until July 2015. The artist pulled his work from those platforms prior to his death. It doesn't mean that all of his stuff will be out and available, but the fact that it could see the light of day, something is skeptical inside of me knowing how Prince's camp operates.
Yeah, I mean, right now his family is like really trying to fight each other to get control of Prince's album, and I think Prince would actually be against this. He's not a fan of being on the internet.
Agreed.
Which is why he took all his stuff off. I think he had a quote like, what good has the internet ever done for anybody or something like that, right? He thinks it's a very negative place. So this is interesting. I mean, it's clearly a move by the label and his family to get some money, some revenue happening. So,
and if you recall, right, there was a time where I don't even think Prince, I could be wrong, early on in iTunes years, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe his music was available or it was not, but he did release one of his new albums overseas in the UK as a physical CD in the newspaper or a magazine.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, and it was during the time where the iTunes store was out, and it was kind of like a statement of like, yeah, I'm still doing physical media.
Yeah.
Like, just to kind of say I'm not about this, probably making less money, right, going through the iTunes store.
For sure, yeah.
But it was a statement by Prince. And all I'm going to tell you is Prince is the best concert I've ever been to in my entire life.
So jealous.
The greatest concert I've ever seen. The musicality I've never seen anything like it.
I'm so jealous. I never got to see him.
That was one of those artists that I was super happy to see. So anyways, we love you, Prince. Hopefully you show up on, I Apple Music. Even though I'm still not going to subscribe.
He's got a couple tracks on Amazon Prime and stuff like that too,
Yeah.
I think.
And anyways, come on, let's be real. If you're a real Prince fan, you bought his music.
Yeah, you already
Like,
own his
you
music.
own his discs. I mean,
This is for the millennials to learn who Prince was.
Yeah. I'm gonna even refer people to watch. Well, there's a lot of things you can watch, but watch Prince's Super Bowl performance. That was in the rain.
It's so good.
In the rain.
Yeah.
Look it up. We don't play any Prince music here because like his
We'll
camp
get
in the
sued.
past. Like was it like a baby video or something they took down or like got in a legal battle with?
I don't know.
There was a baby video dancing. You talked
Yeah,
about this.
Yeah. And
baby
there was
was
Prince
dancing
playing in the background. Of like the parents'
kitchen
house
or something
Yeah,
like
at their
that.
house. And he sued because and then I think they ruled against him because they said that's just kind of natural sound that was happening in the house. It wasn't like, it wasn't like a
track
it wasn't the
someone
focus.
edited. Yeah,
it
someone
wasn't the
didn't edit and
focus of
put
the
it on top.
video. Yeah.
But anyways, exciting stuff. So all the youngins, seriously, if you want to hear what music sounds like, listen to Prince.
Bat dance. Get funky.
What about before we go, a quick thing. Didn't you and your wife kind of like was Prince's kiss song?
man.
You told me about this.
Prince. Right? Yeah, that's the reason why my wife and I are married. We were at a club. It was like a work party or something.
Yeah.
And it was that song Kiss by Prince and went and that was like my opportunity. I turned to my wife and I kissed her right during that part. And that was like we played that at our wedding and stuff. So yeah, Prince.
Kiss.
Thank you.
Anyways, everyone's like listening like, dude, get off Prince. I thought this was the damn Apple Byte. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, remember to continue to send us your calls. Let's talk about augmented reality, Apple potential glasses. Call us 1-800-616-2638. Before we play that music, though, I do want to do a little send-off from our friends at Mara AI.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you again to Mara for sponsoring today's episode. Mara is a hands-free virtual running assistant. They use cutting-edge voice recognition to coach you to better runs, motivate you, keep you on track, tell you where you're at, play music, get updates on your location, your pace, the weather, compare your current speed with past runs without ever having to look at your phone. That's the big thing right there. Because you use your earbuds, Mara can hear your commands and put them into action. Download your new running partner free. Who doesn't love free? At mara.ai today. All right, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We'll see you next week. Apple Byte, same bat channel, same bat time. You're good to go?
When you play this music here, boom.
Boom. We'll see y'all. Take care. Be safe. Peace.
See you guys.